Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Whole End Talks. You're joined today by me, Scott Acton, and it's just me and Jamie today. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. We're filming this on Thursday afternoon, so we've had a couple of days to digest. Um, so close, weren't we?
Oh no, I'm still thinking about it all the time. Like, I was thinking about what if that Matson chance went in, but then I was thinking about what about that concert chance, what about that Rashford chance, what about that Tielemans chance? So many chances that that happened. It was just, yeah, it would have been one of the all-time great comebacks in the Champions League when you think about it, like from 5-1 down all the way back up to 5-all. But yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, it's the first time in a long time I've come away from a game. I know we won, but technically, losing by not progressing, and like I was proud of, the boys for what they done. It was a tough ask. Like I said, 5-1 down against, the best team in world football at the minute, and to go toe to toe with them. I think over the two legs, I looked over the two legs. I mean, XG you can only take a pinch of salt, but I think the XG they only bettered us by 0.3. I think, and if you like, just shows how you know how great of a how Villa Park kind of is such a deciding factor in it all because away from home we're obviously we spoke about before we were very poor, so to then bring them back to Villa Park and just give them a run for their money. Like I said, we won on the night. Just a shame we couldn't get over that line.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go through from the beginning. Obviously, the team that's come out, we were both a bit surprised that Anand didn't, but thought he did okay. And after probably when Mendes scores a second, we probably think game over and the team selection's wrong. But he probably got it right. We'll get, we're not really here to criticise Unai at all, but that was obviously maybe he would have gone slightly more attacking, but ultimately we won the game, so you can't knock the team selection too much. And we just give it a right good goal, didn't we? The first goal. Now that you watched it back, blaming Powell, blaming Emmy.
Well, for me, I thought it was more Martinez. I don't know. Did Powell even get a touch on it? Or
If he did, it was minimal. I would say, yeah, I'd just say him. He's got to get hold of it, and he more than anything.
yeah, he's probably like I don't know. He's probably not latched onto it, thinking Powell will get there, and I don't know. But yeah, it's just a bit of a kerfuffle. But that's the problem, Like no matter how well we played, those two legs, when you can see 5 goals to a team that at the start of April was already crowned champions of their league. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's a tough ask, innit, to score 5 goals or to score a minimum 5 goals over two legs. But yeah, it's just like that simple error like that. I can't remember the last time Martinez messed up or was at fault for a goal. But then again, like he makes that mistake, and then in the second half, I can remember a few times he saved us again. I think Doué had a couple one-on-ones that he saved at the near post.
Yeah,
You know, so I thought overall, even though Martinez messed up for that first goal, I still thought he had a good game.
yeah, I didn't missing out. I just think he's probably got. He would probably be looking back, thinking I should have held on to it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like he's kind of let go of it, thinking that maybe Powell could get there, or I'm not sure. But usually he gobbles them up. That's what I'm saying. For the rest of the game, he was absolutely spot on, like the Martinez we knew. So it's good that it didn't he didn't let it affect him.
Yeah, their second goal just a good goal. The minute we lose the ball, there are 4 passes. It's in the back of the net. I mean, how their left back is basically playing forward. If you know, I don't know if you've watched it back, but
Yeah,
pitch when we lose the ball already, and he tucks it away like Aldo.
yeah. I said before the first leg. I said that when they play, I said their wingers come inside, so then they have a front three, and obviously their striker drops in as well, and then their fullbacks act as their wingers. And yeah, I mean, you know, again over the two legs, three of their five goals came from their fullbacks. It's a bit mad, really, when you think about it. That you know how like they base like both fullbacks are up there when their second goal came about. It was just it's just like it was actually from a obviously watching them quite extensively, obviously prior to us playing them. It's quite refreshing to play a game and it kind of be like a basketball match and them kind of be like going gung ho every kind of opportunity they got because they never really attacked as like a one or two players. They all went together and it was just quite refreshing because now, especially in the Prem, it's so systematic now. It's like it was quite refreshing to watch. To be fair,
Yeah, you don't really get games like that in the Prem, do you? Because
nah.
people will go for a draw, and obviously we wouldn't normally go like that either because I don't really think it's Emery's style to go basketball man for man, but didn't really have any choice. There was some points where you had Conser and Powell chasing down, Dembele or Kvaratskhelia or Barcola, and by their centre backs, and you think, wow, they're high. But for that game, it worked. Didn't think we played too bad up until 2-0. We obviously had the early chance straight away. Torres had a half volley at 1-0, I think it was. Thought we were playing all right. I just thought PSG's quality was just shining through at that point.
Yeah, we had that one. I think we hit the bar in the first minute, didn't we? Off a
Yeah,
set piece.
hard did it. I think he actually saved it. It looked like it.
Oh, oh, did it save again? Yeah, I mean that's another thing about Donnarumma as well. Like, I mean, I always knew he was a good goalie. My thing was that he kind of palms a lot of things away when it comes in the air, and his distribution is okay, but it's not to the level of the top goalies. Similar thing to what we say with Martinez with his distribution, but he bailed him out, and that's what the goalie's there to do. And he was their man of the match. I know he gave it to Dembele, but for me, it would have to have gone to Donnarumma because he literally, like, he could have saved the Titanic if he wanted to, like that. He was pulling off so many saves, and like I said, you had the one they flipped on. He had Powell's one, he had Rashford's one, he had the Tielemans header. I think McGinn had a chance. He had the Asensio 1v1. He had the obviously Matson's got blocked offline. He had the one that in the first minute that he said he tipped over, and it was just gutting really because I've watched him so many times and he's been so bad. He's kind of been their weak spot, and for him just to come up clutch like that, yeah, it just shows what a good keeper he is.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar opinion, but he did make two or three top saves, and then another two or three really good saves.
Yeah, like even like the Rashford one, I thought, oh, like he should be saving that anyway. Then you watch the replay, he's at full stretch, and if that ball's like another half an inch over, it probably goes through his fingers into the corner, or it's just,
Yeah, that was a hand on that, to be fair, wasn't it?
oh yeah. But again, like watching it, I thought, oh, he's made a meal of it. But then on the replay, he's at full stretch, and yeah, I mean, like I says, I got my assumptions of him slightly wrong. I knew obviously he was a good goalie, and I know he's very good in penalties, but I didn't think he was that good in terms, even his distribution. I knew he weren't the best, but he was. I thought he was good with his diags, and so overall, just I just can't believe that he pulled off that sort of game because obviously they got Arsenal now in the semi. He's just you watch him, fucking one will go through his legs and another one will go through his fucking. You know what I mean? And that's just what happened. But it is what it is.
I'll be honest, I don't really care now. I probably won't even pay much attention to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only obviously it depends where you sit on it. There was a debate, wasn't there, on Talksport when we were going up there on Tuesday, and they were saying about do you want other English sides to do well in Europe, or are you just solely focused on your club? And for me, I've always been in the mindset of like, obviously, I'm Villa through and through. So, like, in my head, if Arsenal win the Champions League, then all they're going to do is get better and better, and that's just not going to benefit Villa by any means. So, in my head, I'd like PSG to beat them in the semi-finals, and I want PSG to win it because to say you've lost to the eventual champions, I think, and gave them a right good go as well. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from there about like you wouldn't pay much attention to it, but I
Uh,
get what you.
I don't want them to win it. I sit on the fence of no. I just like singing to him Champions of Europe. You never seen that, but you
Mm.
know. my best mate is Arsenal. And for him, yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but for every other reason, I PSG all the way. But you know, obviously,
Yeah.
like Arsenal, so I'd be happy, but I wouldn't be happy for actually Arsenal.
Yeah, got you.
Um, well, obviously Tielemans gets that goal. Slight deflection. I don't know if it was going in or not, but definitely what we deserved, and we get into half time at 2-1. And then, I mean, the second half was crazy, wasn't it? The minute McGinn scored, I mean, we'll talk about McGinn because I've written some stuff down about him, but how good was McGinn?
Yeah, it's one of the best performances I've seen him have. But then again, away against PSG, again one of his best performances I've seen, and it just shows that. I think I said to someone in the ground, I was like, this guy's been with us. Like he made his debut against Wigan Athletic, and now he's captaining us against PSG, and it's just surreal. And the fact that he's probably got man of the match for us away from home, and his again our man of the match probably for me as well in the home game. And it's, people say about like we've exceeded McGinn, and and he ain't in people's best 11s, but he's just again just proved the doubters wrong because he just has that. He gets the club. He knows what it means, and like even like when we went flat a little bit in the first half, he just absolutely ran through Kvaratskhelia, and then he got a booking for it. But then the crowd got up, and then the Tielemans goal came soon after that. It's just I remember last year against Tottenham, we were awful. They just went for a Dogie and just slapped him in half, and like, he got sent off, and then we all just started chanting his name. But it's just like I just feel like he gets the club, and like I love him to pieces. I don't ever want us to get rid of him. I feel like we owe him so much, and yeah, I think you said it on the way out. I said that you think you still got. I think Az was joking money about him going in the summer, and then you said he was like, nah, he's got a good 2-3 years left. Yeah, especially if he's not playing. I know he plays for. I know he's the vice captain of Scotland. He's going to play every minute for them, but the way we're going, even if he's not starting every single week, if he's still if he's starting 3/4 of the games or half the games or whatever, get a bit more life in the legs so he's not playing every single minute. I want McGinn at our club as long as possible because at the end of the day, he's our captain, and what he done against PSG on Tuesday was a proper captain's performance.
I don't think, I think, sorry, I don't think, I do think that Emery in all the big games, McGinn starts. Maybe not in the same position, but there was no way that he wasn't starting both of them games. And when we play Palace in a semi-final, you know that he'll be starting.
100%.
Um,
I feel like it's out of possession. He's just a lot more wise than what. Like he non-stop he's running, and he's got. I think as well people don't. I think out of possession I think he keeps his shape quite well because remember like Guinea back in the day when he was a bit when he's a bit more slimmer, he used to just run around. He'd get their head down and just start running, and he'll often just like go by himself, and you'll be like, "What's kind of going on?" Even when we were in the Prem under Smithy, and even Gerrard, to be fair. But ever since Unai's come in, he just, he's obviously had a word with him about sitting in his shape a bit more. But like again, like Man City next week is, away at the Etihad. You know full well Guinea's going to be playing. It's an important game. Of course, he's going to be playing because we have to be disciplined out of possession.
his ability on the ball is so underrated as well.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
just everything about him so underrated. His strength, he's surprisingly quick. He's got, when he lets that left foot go, he's got one hell of a strike on him, and it's just everyone underrates him. And I think you said as well on the way home, like pound for pound, he's our best signing, especially in my lifetime. Because you can look back on free transfers, because people were saying about because I'm on a group chat on Instagram, and I says about the pound for pound Guinea being the best, and they said they were like, yeah, but you got Kamara on a free, Tielemans on a free. I said, yeah, I said if they stay for like 7-8 years, win a couple trophies, then fair enough, then they're probably better. But I said Guinea we bought for 2.5 million. He was with us from the Championship, and Jesus Christ, the amount of like he's been with us for so long, he's given us all that back and so much more, and it says a lot that we bought him for 2.5 million from a higher to mid-table Scottish league club, and now he's our captain. He's still like he's gone through the managers. He's still here. I think it just speaks volumes.
Well, as I was looking before, he's now played 237 games for us. You know, like he'll get if he sticks around for another 3 years, he'll surpass probably 300. Um, and if you look, he's not scored many goals. He scored 23 goals for us, right? But if you take the goals that he scored, his first goal was that volley against Sheffield Wednesday, which was outrageous. I think we were up there, but I had a couple of mates come with me, and I talk to them now, and they probably still say that's the best goal they've seen live.
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember I didn't go out to that game. I remember that one. I was working, but yeah, it was yeah.
that was a worldie. But then if you think about the others, so he scores the winner in the playoff final, right? He scores the first goal back in the league at Spurs in
Mm.
the when we first got up.
Yeah, yeah,
He
the
then
Mings over the
the
top.
winner against Arsenal when we beat them in City, and then he scored the winner against Zrinski when we needed a goal in the Conference League last year. Like he's the one that pops up. And then if you look this year, Bologna he scored, Leipzig he scored, and PSG he scored, and he got an assist in that PSG game as well. Um, just big moments, big game.
Do you remember Stamford Bridge as well when we beat them 2-0 in when we were going for Conference League?
Yeah, I was up there.
And yeah, you were up there, yeah. And I remember we went early 1-0 up through Watkins, didn't we? There was a Cucurella header, and then Watkins looped it over.
He's
But then we were under the cosh at that period of time, and then Guinea came up with that absolute thunderbolt, and again, like that gave us that bit of respite, and it was just yes, like he says, he comes up in those moments, and for me, when I see McGinn in the team, I'm like, there's no way we can lose, just
no.
because he just fills me with so much confidence.
Yeah, I always thought there was a stage where McGinn played well, then Villa played well. I don't think it's necessarily that anymore. I just think certain games he is crucial. And I was just thinking back, he always pops up with a goal in the big games, and semi-final in a couple of weeks, you wouldn't put it past him, not either. Um,
100%.
Champions League this year, got 10 games he's played, 5 goal involvements, 3 goals and 2 assists. Even that within itself, a good.
Yeah, and a few of them he was injured for. Like he didn't play Bayern Munich either, did he?
No, I just think like you see it a lot on keyboard without Graham McGinn, and like, the delusion is so delusional. I know Aaron says it sometimes. I tell him in the summer when we're coming back. Just think no, like you said, he's still got another couple of years. Hopefully, he just epitomises everything that is Villa at the moment and the journey that he's been through.
I think
And
we
you,
owe it to. I think we owe it to him as well. Like at the end of the day, we wouldn't be here without him.
100%. Yeah, you don't want to lose people like that.
No.
Obviously, back to the game then, when Rashford obviously nearly scored straight after that save that you mentioned for Donnarumma, and Rashford does really well, gets to the byline, pulls it back, and when Konsa scored, the whole end just went off, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was trying to think about like what, um, like the most limbs I've been involved in, and the three that come to mind was Tuesday night, Man City last season, and Bayern Munich this season. I mean, Bayern Munich. I remember I was as had me like this, like Simba from The Lion King, and cousin Sam. Sammy had both my feet and one of my shoes went missing, and I don't. I was just up in the air crowd surfing, and then also for Tuesday, it was my seat in the upper hole is 167, and after we scored, I done a few fucking laps and stuff, and then few doggy runs. And then I was stood on a chair. I had one chair on my right foot planted on the chair, my left foot on the safe standing railing bit, and I was like swinging my scarf about. And I looked down. I had 174. I just moved 8 seats over, and I looked around, and you guys were all on the other side. It was absolute carnage. And yeah, I mean, Villa put a few things out, but it weren't just us because they put the North Stand and the video of the Trinity up, and they're all just kind of running along the fucking.
Yeah, I've seen some.
It's absolute carnage, and at that time I thought, oh my god, like we're gonna do something amazing.
Well, I obviously said 4-2 in the preview, didn't I? And
Yeah,
I went 4-2 on the Super Six. I genuinely thought it was on. I mean, I don't think I've celebrated a goal like that for a long, long time. You know,
Yeah, it's
that
unbelievable.
that was pure elation and emotion at the time. You know, and regardless, yes, like we haven't gone through, but I mean, what a game of football! I mean, that like just in terms of a 90-minute match, that was probably that I can think probably the best game of football I've watched. Obviously, it helps that Villa have won, but like it's just some game. Both teams just going for it. Like you can't play like that every week. But that's a game that in like 10 years you'll be like, do you remember that PSG game? We beat them 3-2. Like the limbs, the noise, like how you felt in that moment that Constance goal hit the net. Like that's like the stuff you go to football for.
Yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean,
But
for me, the best game I've seen, obviously, like that game on Tuesday was unbelievable. Obviously, I wasn't there live, but like the game I've seen on like telly was that World Cup final in Qatar because it was very similar to our game on Tuesday. You had two good teams, both going for a basketball match. One team goes up early, the other team then comes back, and then it was absolute carnage. You had the Martinez save at the end, like the Donnarumma save at the end, and it was just they're quite alike in a sense, and it's just. But that's what like it just felt like football was like that, 15, 20 years ago. Whereas now it's so systematic. That's where like we played Olympiacos last year. I watched a few of their games prior and post to us playing them, and even in the Conference League final against Fiorentina, they play the exact same way. Just I call it terrorist ball, right? Because it's just absolute carnage. Like they get it, and sometimes they might play short, sometimes they'll just hook it line, sometimes they'll play it to in behind. It's like they just go for it no matter what, and a lot of like the foreign teams do that now, and obviously for a club like PSG, you wouldn't necessarily put that with them, but then for them just to they done it against Liverpool both legs, just absolutely went for it both legs, and they've done the same really for us. I know the ball was out of play and they were stop and start, they going down where they could and taking time on throws and that, but in possession they weren't like I didn't feel like that they were conservative, like they were going long, they were going short, they were doing everything, and it was just refreshing to see really players
yeah,
expressing themselves. Like it was nice seeing like wingers trying to take a fullback on.
yeah, just yeah. I mean, like I said, I just think you'll look back at that game, think I'm glad. One, you're glad that you were there watching it. Two, you couldn't fault you like you said. You come away though. We won the 90. The home tie, and we went out. I don't think any Villa fan come away from that with nothing but a sense of like huge pride that you've
Oh,
been.
100%.
That we've seen them in the Champions League. That we've pushed probably either them or Barcelona, probably the best in the world right now, all the
Yeah.
way. And like when we were walking back to the car, we said you wouldn't have ever put down that it long or that Duo would be trying to hold it in the corner. And so, listen, on another day, we might get spanked. On another day, Matson's volley goes in, Conser heads it in. You never know, but listen, you can't. The journey of the Champions League this season has been incredible. They're proper memories that will stay with you for a lot, for a lifetime
Oh,
until
yeah.
the next one. If we can get back in that, obviously this year, then amazing.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Before we wrap it up, we'll just quickly touch on Newcastle. See Saturday, massive, massive game. They smashed Palace last night, 5-0. They're flying. I think they've won 6 in a row, up to third now. What do you reckon?
It's tough. I mean, at St James's Park, I have zero hope. But obviously, Villa Park, and we're on our longest unbeaten run since '91, I think it is. We're flying at home at the minute, and my mind is if we can beat PSG, we can beat anyone in the world. And I know Eddie Howe ain't on the touchline. I know they've scored 9 goals in the last 2 games, but again, like if we play anything like we did in that second half against PSG, we'll be fine. It's just Newcastle aren't a team now where you can go, oh yeah, if we keep Isak quiet, because Isak didn't really do a lot against United. I know he scored last night, but again, didn't do a great deal. And it's just like look at like they're getting goals from all sorts. Like Cher's got like a few goals this season. Murphy's chipping in. Barnes is now coming to life. It's just like they've got players from all over the place. Deep runs from the field through Joe Linton and Tenalis. It'll be one hell of a game. It'll be tough, but we just
Yeah,
can't. We just can't go into it thinking that being a bit pessimistic. We've got to be or cautious. We've got to be. If we're anything like our best, if we're 85, 90% of the way to how we play at Villa Park, second half against PSG, first half against Forest, how we played against City, even Arsenal, we lost 2-0, but how we played against them, it will be fine. It's just, not letting that, you know, creep in, the whole cautious approach.
yeah. I just think hopefully from a physical side and emotional, mindset to it is that would have taken a lot out of them Tuesday. We've obviously had an extra day. I'm glad Newcastle played because that probably helps us out as well.
Yeah.
Um, but now that we're out of the Champions League, you think Newcastle City Tuesday is it? I think, and then Palace Saturday in the semi-final. I mean, the season we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, I think, but the season from being a nearly great season to then nothing happening or a great season, I think the next three games go a long way to deciding that.
Oh yeah, but but this is like what we want to be a part of, like this is why we come to like all these years we've had, we've always been like we ain't got an out to play for, and it's yeah, we're out of Champions League, but we've got top five to compete for. The FA Cup, like Jesus, we win the FA Cup, it'll be unbelievable, right?
Oh, you want to be come the end of the come the end of the season and end of April going into May. You want stuff to play for, and like since Emery's come in, we always have. I
Yeah,
think this is a massive week. I think if we can get a result against Newcastle, yeah, I think he'll make changes. I think Marlon might come back in. I think Ollie might start. Maybe Rashford out on the left or Asensio maybe in to freshen it up slightly. But hopefully they're still buzzing. What are we 18 unbeaten at home now?
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, if we can make it 19,
it'll be one hell of a game anyway.
yeah, 5:30, which pain in the ass to get home. Really late. Another one that's obviously yeah, big game. You got a
Yeah,
prediction?
yeah, we'll concede for sure. Um, I'll go. I'll go 3-2.
Do you know what? I've done my Super Six and I've gone 3-2 as well.
Yeah,
So we both stick to that.
yeah, 3-2.
All right, sweet. We'll wrap it up there, mate, because we've both got stuff to do and people to see.
I'm about
So
to say I ain't got nothing to do. My mum just wants her office back.
no, I've got to leave the kids. So
Yeah,
can't leave any longer. Okay, yeah, that'll do them, mate. Anyone that's new, subscribe. We've hit 50 subscribers, which let's be honest, we probably never thought that we'd hit. So
no,
let's try to grow it, put the word out for us. Any feedback is actually appreciated. We'll be back probably after the Newcastle game, in between that and the City game, and then we'll get an episode out between City and Palace next Saturday. But yeah, final word, just what riding Champions League, mate. Eh?
no, 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 no.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, that'll live with us for a long time.
No, 100%.
And we carry on, but still a chance of top five in an FA Cup. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Up the Villa, mate.
Up with Villa.